Every living being is different from each other. We look different. Even our fingerprints are different. We obviously think differently, so our intellect works differently. Yet there is something that all humans and even animals have in common. That is, we all seek happiness and we relentlessly pursue it as life's goal. So where can we find happiness? Can it be obtained from the outside world, or can it be uncovered from within? If it is from outside, why isn't the richest, the smartest, the most powerful, the most famous people in the world the happiest people? They're not. Why? Because invariably we assume that happiness is contingent upon the amount of material things we possess. Is this true? Let's first explore this scripturally. न जातु कामः कामानाम् उपभोगेन शाम्यति हविषा कृष्णवर्तमेव भूय एवा निवर्धते. Fulfilling the desires of the senses does not extinguish those desires. Just as offering oblations of ghee, clarified butter, and the fire does not extinguish it, instead, it makes the fire blaze even stronger. So this verse is saying the opposite to what conventional belief is. However, we know that a bigger bank account can translate into a bigger and more luxurious home in a better neighborhood with less crime and better school for the children, the latest car, the most updated gadgets, most exotic vacation destination, the best health insurance coverage, etc. But when we acquire 1 million, then we'd like to have 10 million, then 100 million, then 1 billion. It never stops. In the meantime, though, happiness continues to elude us. Because to be happy with what we accumulate from the outside world depends on a particular mindset. If not, the search for happiness in the material world is like running after a mirage. A mirage is the water body that the deer sees in the distance in the desert and pursues it to its own peril. So if we know that happiness cannot be purchased and delivered to us from the outer world, then why do we tirelessly pursue it, and where may it be found? Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat, Taittiriya Upanishad 3:6. Another name for God is Anand or happiness. Namashambhavaya cha Mayo Bhavaya cha, Yajurved 16:41. Maya means happiness. This slok says that Lord Shiva is the embodiment of and the distributor of happiness. Okay, so God is happiness. So why is it said that happiness is within? And where do we go to find God to indulge in this happiness reservoir? Scripture answers. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshu arjuna tishtati. Gita 18:6-1. God resides in the region of the heart in every living being. This is why it says that happiness can only be tapped into from the inside world. And as for the other question, why do we constantly pursue happiness? Mamaivancho jivaloke jivabhutah sanatanah. Gita 15:7. The embodied souls in this material world are my eternal fragmental parts, says Sri Krishna. So now we understand that God is Anand, perfect happiness, and we are a fraction of God, meaning a fraction of the source, happiness. So souls constantly seek real happiness because this is our nature, being a fraction of Anand, of God, of happiness. It is also important to know that real happiness is permanent and infinite, not in spurts and stops like enjoying chocolate for fleeting moments of pleasure before it all disappears. So everlasting happiness is achievable, but there's just a little deviation with regards to our approach. That begs the question then, how do we tap into that Raso Vaisaha, Taittiriya Upanishad 2:7? God is Raso Vaisaha, an ocean of nectar-like bliss. So how do we tap into that ocean for happiness in our everyday life? Hint, it's not by the name by which we call God, meaning our religious denomination, or how deeply engrossed we are in religious activities, etc. It's by what we will discuss in our next video clip. Wishing you all a joyous and most fulfilling 2022.